Okay, welcome back. We're just continuing from yesterday. Start with the intro. Welcome to the CoderJams live stream. We are working on this Pokemon-like RPG. We have several projects in our solution. The console is basically like the client, and this would be, you know, it's meant to be replaced or switched out with something like Unity or whatever the client will be for our RPG game. I want all of the logic to be separated so it could be unit tested and it could be shared between, like a web app or maybe a .NET MAUI mobile app or anything like that. So the models is going to just house the data structures that we have. So like our battle moves and our battle monsters, things like that. Then we have repositories, which will be our data access layer, and this is what is going to manipulate the data that comes from the database. We don't have a database set up yet, but I think we're going to do that today. Um, my main focus today will be this battle system, though. I want to get this battle system at least running turns and simulating a battle between the two Pokemon we created, which we can open that up, and we'll see that we have a Bulbasaur and a Charmander created. So let's go ahead and get started on that. So we'll head over to our battle manager, and instead of just displaying what's happening, I mean, like the two players and their parties, let's actually get ready to run a battle. So battles need, I mean, turns really. So player one, player two, they're going to have a turn. So their first Pokemon of each party is going to get thrown out, and then we're going to check the speed of each one. And actually, we're going to get the first live Pokemon. So if they fainted, then they're ineligible for the battle. So let's grab the two starters. So var player one monster equals player one dot party dot, and we'll say where p dot HP is greater than 0. So they're not fainted. And then we'll do a question mark because that could be, I mean, it shouldn't be null, but it could be empty. But party could be null. So let's go ahead and use a question mark here. All right, so then we have, we want the first or default. And so if this is null, then we're going to have an issue. So we want to check for that. If player one monster is equal to null, then we cannot battle. We'll also have that same issue for player two. So let's go ahead and do player two monster equals player two dot party dot where. This will be the same thing. And since we're doing this, we might need, no, I think it's fine. The party will be already in order, so we'll just grab the first one that's not fainted. So if player one monster is null or player two monster is null, then we cannot battle and we'll just return. And for now, let's go ahead and throw an exception. Let's see. Let's make a new exceptions folder, and we will make our own exceptions. And this class will be a battle state exception. This will extend from an exception, and for now we can just leave it empty, but eventually it'll handle its own issues, but now we can just make a new battle state exception, which we need to import the using, and we can get rid of return now because the program would stop executing. This then should have a try catch around it. So let's go to the program and we will do a try catch here. And then this will be a battle state exception. And we will bring in the using. And then we will kind of log the issue. We'll say just console.writeLine battle state exception caught. And then we can handle these as we need to. So we can start stacking our exceptions here, and then this will let us catch certain issues that we have and handle them separately rather than everything just being an exception. So let's head back over to our battle manager. We'll throw a new battle state exception. We could pass in a message here. That could be passed down. Let's do that. So program, so battle state exception caught, and then we can kind of display the message from this exception because we get that from the exception class. And so let's add a message here, and the message will be let's go to our exception, public battle state exception, string message. Okay, well, we'll just pass that along. And now we can add a message, and our message is going to be that a player's party does not have valid battle monster. And then we'll say A. Well, it does not have a valid battle monster. And this will just let us know once, if this ever happens and we come down here and we try to start a battle, we'll get an exception. It'll say that the exception was caught, and then here's the exception. That a player from the battle doesn't have a valid battle monster. So that's good. And we'll move on. One second. It looks like I have this Streamlabs chat thing is not working again. I'm not sure why this happens. I don't know. That's kind of frustrating. I think I can use like a companion on my phone. Let me just try to log into this real quick. Yeah, okay. So I have it on my phone. This will be fine. So I should be able to see, if there are any chats that come in, and if anybody's watching and you end up with some questions, go ahead and post them in the chat. I'll try to pay attention and answer any questions as they come. Anyway, so we have our 2 players passed into our start battle. They should have some, their party. Their party should have some valid Pokemon. So these Pokemon need to have higher than 0 HP, so they're not fainted. And then we will make that check, and if we get past that check, if we don't get past the check, we're going to throw this new battle state exception that we created. If they do pass the check, then we can start the turns. So we have the player 1 monster, we have player 2 monster. We want to say, we want to get basically the starting one. So like which Pokemon goes first, basically, right? And we can check that by checking the speed. So check speed of each starting Pokemon or battle monster. We can say Pokemon, it doesn't matter. Pokemon. And so the first one we're going to check is we can just check against if player 1 monster dot speed is less than player 2 monster dot speed. And actually, I guess we should say is greater than or equal to. If they're equal, then I mean ultimately it doesn't. I mean it's just going to be player 1 is going to go first. If they're not equal though, then obviously we'll do the lowest. So let's grab our var starting Pokemon equals player to monster, and then in this case we will set it to player 1 monster. Okay, so now we have our starting Pokemon. In fact, since we are running like turns based on the player, actually, since we're running turns based on the player, we are not going to, maybe we don't need to hold a reference to this Pokemon, we just need to know which player the Pokemon belongs to. So player 1 monster, so I guess we'll say starting player. Starting player is player 2, and then if Pokemon player 1 monster dot speed is less than player 2 monster speed, then starting player will be 1. Starting player is player 1. Okay, so now we can just start turn. So let's do starting player dot start turn, and we haven't created that yet, but we will. Start turn, and we might need to pass in some data. Let's take a look, but let's go back to our player. So a base player needs to be able to start turn. Public abstract void start turn. I'm making this abstract for now because a computer player is going to run their turn automatically, and a human player is going to have some options. So let's just stick with the computer player for now. I think that's the easiest way to go, just to get this up and running. And so we will implement the abstract class on our computer player. And for start turn, let's do some comments. So first thing they're going to be asked is they're going to be given a list of options. And the list is like attack, bag, right? 3 is no, it's not item. What is it? Let's do a quick look. I was trying to get the audio set up. I think I got it though. Let's see. So we need to know it doesn't matter. Pokemon Shield. I wonder if we can find a battle screen. They give the options, and I'm actually playing this game right now. I just can't seem to think of what these battle options are. So Pokemon Shield battle. Let's oops, I misspelled battle. Here we go. So fight, Pokemon bag, and run. Okay. Fight. I guess this is fight. Pokemon. So that's like to change our party. Bag, and 4 is run. So we can list that now. So let's we'll display it, but we should create like a display class that will handle either like go into the console or whatever. Because honestly, like the console, our console project is going to display it out to the console, but something like Unity might pop up a UI. So our display class could handle that. So let's do that. So in our battle system, let's add an interface. And this interface is going to be something like iDisplay utility or something. So iDisplay manager. iDisplay manager. And so its job is going to be to I don't know. I guess for now we'll just return strings. So like string display options or display message or something, display message. Um, Actually, it's going to be a void and it will take in a string message. And so then in our battle, where are you? Battle monster manager, nope. In our com player, I have too many things open. Let's clean stuff up. Close others, all but this. All right. So battle manager needs a static reference, and it'll be public static I display manager, and this will be a display manager. And you need to be given to me. So like when we initialize a battle manager, we need to pass in a display manager, and we'll set it just right here. Display manager equals display manager. I guess we'll make it a private set. And it says it you know, wants you to put a question here because like it doesn't want it to be null. Whatever. I mean, it needs to be able to handle being null, basically. But now we can go battle manager dot display manager dot, and then we can start updating things. So let's do that. So this player, on a computer player, they're not actually going to list options. On a human player, they would. But for now, we're going to just kind of like log things, right? So let's say battle manager. Nope. Models doesn't have a reference to the battle manager. It's vice versa. Battle manager has a reference to models. So what we need to do is maybe provide actions or something here. I guess we can make a new utility. What should we do? Should display manager head down to models? I don't think so. How about in here? I don't know. I'll think about this more. But for now, I guess for now let's not use this. But I'm just going to comment it out because we do need to use it. But maybe for now, until we get a proper structure in here, let's not slow down. So I'll just well, we can delete that. We'll delete it from here, but we're going to leave that top. Whoop, Control Z. We're going to leave this top one because we do need some mechanism, like with some dependency injection, to be sending this to the client. So like console needs to be able, dang it, I did it again. Console needs to be able to create a battle manager, give it to the, a display utility or display manager, give it to the battle manager, and then receive these updates. So that's what we're going to eventually do. All right, so, but for now, we're not going to. So start battle happens. Com player needs to run his own. So this list of options actually is for the human player. So let's cut this. I'm going to cut that out. I'm going to add a new class for human player. It will also extend from base player, and then it's going to need to implement the abstract class, and this is where we will paste that. So human player does need to kind of list the options. Com player is going to take care of it on their own, but maybe with some delays or something, right? I also think this could be asynchronous, and so that way we could like return a task, and within here we could start awaiting things like user input. But so as to not over architect things. Oh, also I think base player should require that the name be set, right? So let's say public base player string name, and then name equals name. And well, I mean, we can just let this be nullable, I guess. I just made the party nullable. Name we're setting here, and then so com player, we have an error because we don't want to, I mean, we don't really need to set this here. Now we just need to pass it to the base constructor, and then that will solve that. We also want to do it for human, so human string name and then base name. Okay, start turn. I guess for now we will just log to the console, system.console.write line, and it is, let's put a $sign in front of there, so then we can say name. It is name's turn. What would you like to do? And then we'll give the options. One is fight. Pokemon. Bag. Whoops. And then our last one is run. And run isn't an option in a regular battle, but against like wild Pokemon, it is an option. So here's the options. Then we want to determine if the user input is parsable to an integer. So we'll say var user choice equals 0, and then we will say while user choice, no, int dot try parse. We will take in console.readline, and we can just send that out to a new user choice. Yeah, user choice. So we don't, I guess we don't need this one. So we're gonna read line and try to parse it into user choice, which should be an integer. So while this is not working, so like while you try to parse this, like let's say they say A, it's gonna just ask it again. So we should say like maybe do while. We'll like, yeah, we'll come back to that. Anyway, so read line, get whatever they select, and it could be read key, right? We could just read 1, 2, 3, or 4. So what does read key return? Read key returns key info, read key dot, to string. Nah, I'm gonna do read line. We'll wait for enter. We might update that. Anyway, so while try parse, so if this is true, so not this, or user choice is less than 1, or user choice is greater than 4, greater than 4. Okay, so this is saying if we can't parse it, then redo this. Or, so we can parse it, so if we can parse it and it's less than 1, it's invalid. If it's not less than 1, then we want to see if it's less than 4 or greater than 4. If it's greater than 4, then we're going to keep asking them to do this. So let's move this down, and then we will say do this, and then we're going to just put this down here. And we do want to retain user choice now. So we are going to put user choice back up here, equals 0. And then we will get rid of this, and we'll just say out user choice. And so we're going to store the user's basically their selection. We're going to store it into here. And we're going to keep asking until they give us something that is correct. And now we have a valid choice, and we can just switch that choice. So user choice and case 1, and this is fight. Case 2 is Pokemon break. Case 3 is bag, open the bag, break. And case 4 is run. And then default should be unreachable, because we were like pretty restrictive on what we're going to accept. And then, so this will let them, I mean, it's going to open new menus, right? Fight is going to open the Pokemon's menu. So we need to basically have the current Pokemon. So we can get rid of this. And then we'll use a comment up here and say we need to get current active Pokemon. And so that's like basically the same thing, var Pokemon equals, and we have a party where p dot HP is greater than 0 dot first or default, and if Pokemon is equal to null, we have a this doesn't need to throw an exception. This means like, oh, player is out of Pokemon, player blacked out, right? And then we'll return. But we should log this. So console.writeLine, we'll log this exact thing. And then we don't need to say player, we can say name now. And put a $sign in front of there so we can use it, and then name blacked out. Okay, so that gets us our first Pokemon, and fight is going to Pokemon.display moves. So the Pokemon needs to be able to display the moves, and basically we want to do the same thing, but we want to change like the boundaries of the choice, and we want to change the text. So really we need like some kind of method, and we'll put it into like an input manager. But for now, let's keep it here, and we'll just cut it out of here when we're ready. So this will be a public int, could even be static really, but public int, and then we will get user selection and string prompt. So we're gonna prompt with this. Let's take this whole thing. We'll cut it, that's fine. And we'll paste it here. And then we will say var user choice equals get user selection, and then we will put this in there. And so all that was, I put this in the wrong spot. Put it here. Okay. Var user choice is get user selection. This is going to return an int, and by sending in a prompt, and so we will show the prompt, and we will keep doing it until user choice is valid. So we need int min and int max, and then we will say var user choice equals 0. And less than min or greater than max, and then we will just return user choice. Now we can just use this instead of having to do this so many other times. So get user selection is going to return an integer. There's no argument that corresponds to min and max. That's correct. So we will say min and max is 1 and 4. All right, display moves. Pokemon doesn't have that yet, but we will add that. And let's see. Do we want to let them know that no, I don't think so. All right, so display moves, and it will be um, up to them to display the moves. So get user selection needs to be usable everywhere, basically. So where should we put that? I don't think models is dependent on anything. We could make a utilities. It's probably the second time I've said that. Maybe we should just do it. Yeah, all right. We're gonna make a new project, and it will be Twitch Pokemon RPG .utilities. We can delete class 1, and we can add a new class. And this is going to be that let me think about this. Let me cancel that for now. Get user selection, like this is from the console that we are basically planning here. So that should come from our console client. Our client should be saying how the input is going to occur. So let's make an interface here, and this will be like an I user input manager, and it needs to return an int for get user selection. String prompt is fine. And then we would end up just copying this to there to an implementation. So let's get rid of that. And let's go into our console and build like a concrete user input manager. And it will implement the I user input manager interface. Get user selection. Oh, I see. You need an int min and an int max. Okay, and then we can just delete this old one because we don't need it anymore. And we can import system. Whoops. What are you saying? Read line doesn't exist. All right, well, I guess we'll... That's not true. Ah, look at that. System dot. It got confused between our namespace called console and their namespace. Well, their class called console. Okay. So that will work for now for here. So let's go into our program and create that user input manager. User input manager. And we need to pass this in to, let's see, it needs to make its way over to the human player, which program is creating. So we can just add that here. So the name, the input manager, and you also need the input manager. Or we can make like an intermediary. So it could be, let's see, it could be a static. I think it's fine. We will just do this for now. So our base player needs an input manager. Actually, just human player needs an input manager, because com player isn't going to be displaying any of this or getting input. So really, this is just a human player requirement for now. So I user input manager. and we will save that here. Input manager equals input manager. And then quick fix to generate that field. And now we can use that here. Input manager dot get user selection. This Pokemon needs access to this also. At which point should it get the access is a question that we will answer here in a second, I guess. We'll have to think about it. But back in our program, com player actually doesn't need that anymore. So only human player does, which we don't have a human player. But since we're doing all of this, we might as well make one, right? So player 1 can be a human player. And we can pass in our input manager. And then we will change the name to human player 2, or let's just name them CoderJams. And then AI player, we don't need a number anymore. All right, and then we can start handling user input. So Pokemon needs to be able to display moves. So let's head over to Battle Monster and give them a method to display moves. Public void display moves. And perhaps we get moves, right? Like we will handle the display later. Pokemon shouldn't be displaying anything, right? They shouldn't be printing out to the console. We should just be like getting a list of moves. So let's say list moves and it'll return a string. And so we want to go into the moves list and we're basically like two-stringing the move list. So we will make our string builder equals new string builder. And then, well, we need to import the namespace here. And then we can for each through the move list if the move list isn't null. If move list is null, which it shouldn't be, it can't be, right? Because if we pass in null, I mean, we have a public setter, so I guess technically it could be set to null at any time. So if move list is equal to null, we will just return should we throw an exception? Like, let's see. I suppose it can't be, we shouldn't let it be null. We should private set this. We'll handle adding and stuff to the move list locally. So we're going to private set. So now it can't be null. And if it is, we're going to throw an exception. Throw new, we need an exception here. It's not a battle state. It is a, it's like, we'll just do an exception for now. Move list is null. This shouldn't happen ever. Okay, string builder for each, and then we can say var move in move list. And if it's empty, then this just won't run. So that's good, no problem. I mean, it shouldn't be empty. It should have struggle, but it's okay to be empty. It's not going to crash anything. Because like there's still, you know, like move list.clear, which you could do, and that would pretty much wipe it out. I'll put more thought into that, but it doesn't need to slow us down. For each var move and move list, let's go ahead and add a line. So do we also want like a 1, 2, 3, 4? We do. So var index equals 0. And then we will say sb.append line. And this is going to take in a ++ index. So that'll be like, it'll start with the number 1. And then it'll list the move.name. And then it'll drop to a new line. That's what append line does. Do we want to put some tabs in there? No, we don't. This is how the console would display it. Perhaps we don't even need to do this. I'm going to return string.empty here. I mean, whatever. We already did this. Let's say sb.toString, but I don't think that we need to list moves because this is public, right? We're just letting anybody see it. Why not? Why don't we let them determine how they want to display this stuff? So if we go back to our battle manager, right? Nope, we are in human player. Pokemon.display moves. We don't necessarily need to do this. We can just let's make a local function at the player level. Display Pokemon moves. All right, and then down here, let's go ahead and make another function. It could be private. We'll make it private for now. Private void display Pokemon moves, and we might change this because it should like get the user input also probably. But it's gonna have 5 options, right? It's gonna have, well, up to 5. It's gonna have the 4 moves that he knows, he or she, and then it's going to allow the user to go back, like choose something else. So we'll say var user choice here equals input manager.get user selection, and this would say we'll pass in Pokemon because we're going to want like the Pokemon's name and obviously their moves. Whoops. Battle monster. All right. Get user selection. So we're going to say what we'll say what do you want, and then it could be the monster.name to do, and then the options. Let's make a string builder here. Var sb equals new string builder. And we say for each var m in monster.moves, move list, right? Well, I guess we should spell all of this right. In move list, no, monster.move list. Let's go ahead and like append that list that we're gonna put down here. So this will be basically what we did on the other one. So we're gonna say var index equals 0, and then we will say sb.append line. We don't need to type all this again. We can just copy it from over there. Well, cut it because I don't think we want it over there. But move.name, and here, whoops. Here we will do SB, and that calls the toString method automatically, so we don't really have to call toString. And we need a min and a max. So we also want to add sb.append line the go back, so index cancel, basically. And so this will be 1 to index -1, right? Because plus index puts this at like option 5, so not -1, just actually to the index. Cool. And then next so we're displaying the moves with an appended cancel. And then we want to take in the option. So we have user choice, so we could switch the choice here. Let's see, if user choice is equal to index, that's like the cancel, right? This is cancel. Otherwise, we're going to say the move equals, and we're going to get it from the monster.move list. at user choice -1 because they start at 1 and the element list starts at 0. So var move equals monster.move list user choice. And then I think we also need that display manager, right? Like I'm thinking like if Unity was trying to say like, hey, let's run this battle, and now we have a move, we need to tell Unity like this is the move that was selected. So this will be something we will do. It'll be like a state updater or something. But let's see. So display Pokemon moves. I'm just talking out loud. These are like the way I think is like, okay, this is something I need to plan for and do. And sometimes I will make like a placeholder, like storage box, where we haven't finished it, but I want to, so it's there. This is like writing things down for me. Anyway, so human player, you're going to display the moves, and here's the selected move. And I guess for now, system.console.writeLine selected plus move.name. I mean, we actually need to operate on this, but I want to do this. So the other one is like display Pokemon. And we don't need moves here. We just need to display the party, which I think we are doing, right? No, we were doing that in program. No, in Battle Manager, right here. List party. So look at that. We already have a list party, but it doesn't list like the numbers. I think display Pokemon can take care of that. Private void display Pokemon. All right, and this is where we will list the party. And this lets them like swap out, like if they have whatever, their stronger Pokemon sitting in the back or something. So we are basically doing the same thing, except not on move list. We're going to do this on the party. Let me think on this. So like battle move and battle monster both have names. And when we run displays, we're looking for names. We might be able to streamline this a little because this is going to start to look very familiar. We're doing basically the same thing. We just need like the selected item. Let's see. Let's try to abstract this out a little bit. Private void. We'll just call it make selection for now. We'll just copy this because the intention is to delete it from there. And so we'll just call this collection. And then this will be like an iList collection. And this will be like for each item in collection, item.name. All right, so all of these items need to implement the interface that has like nameable or something. So class, new class, new interface, nameable. Nah, I don't like that. Name holder. Name holder. Named. I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, string name. Get set. All right, this is going to say like everybody who everybody who implements named has a name. And now we can access the name directly, right? So item monster.name. Well, I mean, I suppose that is coming in with the prompt, right? this will be string prompt, and so this will be the prompt. And then string builder is going to iterate through the collection, and 1 to index is all good. This will be collection again. Boom, boom, boom. All right, it is 100% reusable now. So now display moves doesn't, I mean, these don't even need to exist. We just need to call it with this and the collection, right? So display Pokemon moves can just be make selection, and then this will be dot move list, and the prompt, whoops, prompt, Pokemon dot name. All right, and that reminds me, so battle monster needs to be I named, which it already is. I mean, we have name right here. And battle move also needs to be I named. And again, it already is. We have name right here. And then that solves this error. Untrue. Why are you saying that? Battle move, I list I named, and you are a I list of I named. Yes, you can do that. Why are you saying you can't? Cannot convert from I list of battle moves to I list of I named. Yeah, you can. All right, well, let's like try to rebuild or something. Battle move is an I named. Battle monster has a list of battle moves. And again, battle moves are I names. So why are you saying that? Of course you can do that. I mean, we can cast ourselves, but we shouldn't need to. All right, I guess we'll cast ourselves. So I put a question mark in the parameter list here because as could return null if it doesn't cast. So now we need to check if null. It shouldn't be, but all right, so if collection is equal to null, we're just going to return. And we should kind of make some notification here, but I'm not going to. Yeah, I am going to. We will say that collection is null. Should we throw? Maybe we should throw. No, I'm not going to throw. I'm just going to leave it like this. Okay, so what would you like to do, or what do you want said Pokemon to do? And then I'll give you your move list and display Pokemon, same thing, make selection. And this will be our party, and it's going to be the same thing for some reason. But anyway, which Pokemon would you like to swap in, I guess is what we will say. And of course, you're saying I can't cast from literally an I list of battle monster or I named to an I list of I named. I'm doing something wrong here, and oh, well, no, that's not it, because if I get rid of this, now it's going to be literally the same thing. System collection generic I list I named, and you are system collections generic I list battle monster, which is I named. That's so weird. All right, well, as I list I named. I think it's because like we're casting down instead of up. Like if we just put the parentheses in front of this to say like, hey, I know that this is a list of battle monsters, but just use it as a list of iNamed. I mean, this is what we're doing anyway. I guess I wasn't totally convinced that that was a requirement, and I don't see why it would be, but whatever. Anyway, let's see. So that works there. Bag. Okay, bag is like the same thing, except we don't have a bag, but do we want a bag yet? I don't think we do. Do we need a bag? We don't need a bag. For now, we will just say system console write line. Bag is empty. And really then we should say like the selection is I'm gonna put a comment here, and only option should be cancel. All right, and then run. This is if in a wild encounter, try to escape. If in a trainer battle, I should have called them trainers. If in a trainer battle, this isn't allowed. And so for what we're doing with our human player and com player, we are in a trainer battle. So for now, force this second path. We're gonna say like, yeah, you are in a trainer battle, so you can't escape. So system.console.writeLine cannot run from a trainer battle. So really the only two options that you should be allowed to make are from a user choice is 1, 2, and 5. Oh, no. We're not adding cancel yet. So this is just 1 and 2. Oh, you know what? No, we're going to still let them pick, but we will handle them down here. Good. Okay, so bag is empty. We'll just add a new empty collection, because it'll try to add lines, but then it'll say 1 cancel. Yeah, all right, I like that. Let's say make selection here. This needs to be a new list. I guess items. Let's just make items. Let's just do it. Models, add folder. This will be items. Add class. This will just be a base item. Doesn't need to be abstract yet, but it is an identifiable and an named, and it needs both of those properties then. And get and set are fine. Oops. Get and set here. I forgot the semicolon. And oh my goodness. Wow. All right, and then I like to put both of these up top, and I like ID to be on top. All right, base item. What they're saying is like, I want you to pass in these things, name and ID. So we'll do that. That's fine. And we will say ID equals ID, name equals name. All right, they're gonna have like things they do, but for now, it doesn't matter. All right, so this will just be a new new list of base items as list named, and then we need to bring in the namespace for our new items, and the prompt is just bag is empty, and then it'll just say 1 dot space cancel. All right, and if any of these run this, we just want to go back to start turn again, like we're just restarting turn. So cancel is just gonna restart start turn, And I guess we'll just return, even though we're not doing anything, but we might later. So let's, and remember we were gonna delete both of these. Cancel is going to start turn and return. Okay, if we cancel, it's basically gonna just reprint. It is blank's turn. What would you like to do? Fight Pokemon bag run. These will do the same. So let's do this again. Make selection. This can be any list. We're just going to make an empty list. So var empty item list equals, and this will just be that new list base item. And we'll pass this into both. To here, we'll just say I list I named. Then we don't even have to cast actually. I list I named equals new. Stop this. I wonder if we did this, if that would be allowed. No, but I think what we could do, let's try this. Now I'm just curious why this isn't working. New list, I named, and then we could say like empty item list dot add new base item 1 potion. Of course that works. Yeah. Okay. That's fine then. I'm fine with this. This will be a new list that we will put here. Empty. And we will do that here as well. Empty item list. And so this will be a to-do. Check. Well, handle wild encounter. So that's like that if. The first if is like, are we in a wild encounter? Handle it, which we're not going to do right now. And then otherwise, do this. All right. So let's see. I think we're good, right? Once you make your selection, we're not really handling that, right? We're just saying like a move is selected on, move equals, so let's say item. Item equals collection, user choice, item.name. Selected blank, and then that's like ending the turn. But let's see it in action. So if we go to program, nope, battle manager, start turn on the starting player. Once that finishes, then we will do the other player. Let's just run a regular. I just want to see this go before we keep falling down rabbit holes. So let's make 2 human players, and I will just control player 2 myself, and then input manager, and I'm gonna run. I just want to see this happen or break. You know, we haven't tested. I only have like four or 5 songs on like this background free song, commercial free. So I'm sorry if it starts to get monotonous. All right, it is CoderJam's turn, and that's because Bulbasaur's speed must be higher than Charmander's. Let's make sure that's true. Bulbasaur's speed is right before the list, 45. Charmander's is 65. Okay, bug. That's a bug. Let's see. Um, CoderJams has a Bulbasaur. AI Player 2 has a Charmander. It is CoderJams' turn. No, it should be Charmander. Okay, so let's see. Player 1 is given a Bulbasaur. Then we start battle. Battle Manager is going to come in here. Player 1 monster is Bulbasaur and Charmander. Starting player is player 2. If player 1 monster dot speed is less than, oh, duh, it should be greater than, right? Like, the higher speed goes first. Yeah, that's the bug. That was simple. My mistake. All right. It is AI player 2's turn. What would you like to do? Okay, so if we enter something random and press enter, it's just going to repeat. And if it's outside of the scope of what we're allowed to, it's going to repeat. But if we press 1 to fight, collection is null. That's not true. Why are you saying that? It probably is true. Let's see. Remember? Yeah. I remember. So when we made these Pokemon, we set them to null and then we never came back in. So these aren't like handling level. So they're not really I think we should get rid of the input parameter on the battle monster. Mostly because like when we're creating these like in the wild and stuff, they're not all, every time we create a Bulbasaur, it's not always going to have the same move list, right? Depends on its level and all of that. So let's not do this instead. So we'll get rid of this. And we are just going to set the move list to a new list so that it's not null. We don't want it to be null. That much we do know. And it's going to get struggle, which I'm not sure if I like that anymore, but we'll leave it. Okay, so for now they all just know struggle, but let's I guess for right here, we added tackle. Their move list wasn't empty. They both have tackle and growl. Why was it saying their move list is empty? Let's take another look. Fight. Collection is null. Okay. That's not true. So let's see what happened. In our battle manager, we start the turn, which goes to the player. It's grabbing the first Pokemon we have. This guy's party has 1, and he has 3 moves. Struggle, and then tackle and growl, I assume. Not raw, that was a mistake. Tackle and growl, yep. Okay, so then we have our Pokemon. He is Charmander, and he has 3 moves. Is it not casting up to a... Is that really what's happening? The cast is invalid? let's take a look. I mean, where's that output? Or move list is 3, but then when I come into here, it is casting down to null. Yeah, that is what's happening. All right. That's kind of crazy, I think. I mean, I have another idea we could do, but I just can't imagine why this is. The casting shouldn't. I don't know. I think I need coffee number 2, to be honest. All right. We don't need this breakpoint anymore. And you are null again. Okay. Well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to use a typed parameter. So we are going to say make selection T, and then we will make this an iList of T collection, and this is going to say where T is an I named, So this should still be fine. Everything's good here, except now I don't think we need to cast these. So this make selection is going to say like, hey, this is a list of battle moves. And this make selection is going to say this is a list of battle monsters. This make selection is going to be items, or what? No, it's not. It's just I names, right? Empty list. So I guess we didn't even need the base item. Anyway, so this should be good now. I'm gonna run it. I guess if we're gonna go generic, we should have done generic typing anyway. I don't know. Anyway, so fight, and now we're gonna say is collection null? Nope. Excellent. All right, continue. So what do you want to Charmander to do? So we have struggle on here still. Obviously we don't want that. That's only if the PP on the other ones is empty. So let's fix that. And then the option should be tackle, growl, cancel. So let's go into let's go to the getter of the move list. And we are going to handle struggle here. So we need another variable, private iList moves.battleMove. This will just be move list, but like privately, so underscore. And so then get, this is where we're going to handle like if no valid moves, just return struggle. Actually, no. Hold on. When we return the move list, struggle isn't a part of it. Struggle is just what happens if your move list is like empty, right? So struggle never actually ends up being in the move list. It's not a thing. What ends up happening is if there are no valid selections, then struggle just automatically occurs. You don't select it. So we're not going to add that to the move list actually. So let's restart. And we will choose to fight. And we have tackle, growl, cancel. If I press 3, it should show me that it's my turn again. And yep, so fight Pokemon bag. If I do 2, which Pokemon would you like to swap in? Charmander or cancel? Both of them should do the same thing really. But right now we don't handle Charmander. We just say like selected Charmander. So we'll press 2 cancel so we can see bag. Bag is empty, cancel, and then 4 run. Cannot run from a trainer battle. And that should like I guess automatically re-show you your options. But anyway, so I'm going to do a fight and then I'm going to choose tackle. And it's going to say selected tackle. Perfect. All right, and then the program finishes execution and we have a battle started. All right. So your turn is not over, but we have to like resolve damage and things. So I'm going to take a quick break, and then we will get back into it. Yeah, and when we come back, let's see, we're at an hour and 15 right now. I guess that's where we'll end up this episode. So we have the battle system running. We have kind of the user interface for our console app, which that's what's handling user interface. If we were to have, Unity, it would have its own user input manager that would implement the iUser input manager, and it might. So then Battle Manager is going to, actually the player is going to say like get user selection, and it's just going to tell Unity, hey, here's my prompt, tell me what the user picks, and then Unity, it's up to Unity to handle how the UI is presented and the user interacts with it. But then Unity, once it gets that number, is going to give it back to the human player class, and human player will then do its thing. So this console.writeLine should be only on the console. We should be telling like an iDisplay manager about this. So let's finish this real quick, actually. So we'll put this iDisplay manager in the utilities. I guess user input manager should be in utilities also, right? Well, for now, we're going to keep them together. So just let's move iDisplay manager into models. And then we need to update the namespace here. So this will be models. And then instead of writing console.writeLine in here, we are going to call display message. And so then console is responsible for that. So let's say add new class, and this will be our display manager, the concrete version. And then this will be iDisplay manager. And you need to be able to display a message, and this is where we will say system.console.writeLine message. So this is how we're going to handle dependency injection for now. An inversion of control class would be good, but it's fine for now. But anyway, so like console, let's see, battle manager is the one that's in it. Nope, program is initializing these. So let's say our battle manager wants to handle the display, right? I think. Let's see. So display manager equals new display manager. Well, let's walk through this. So close all tabs. So we have our program, and we need to pass in this display manager, and it needs to make it to human. Let's see, where else? Let's go whole solution, and we will look for console.write. This will be everywhere. Oh no. Console.write. So battle manager, human player, and that's it. Okay. So that's happening here. So you are going to need to have the let's see, battle manager. I'm just trying to think of where we should pass this in. So like currently, battle manager has references to player. It's not creating player though, it's just getting passed in. And then player currently has no idea about battle manager, and actually I think that's how it should be. All right, we'll put it here. display manager, and then let's hold a reference here. display manager equals display manager. And this might be a base player property because com player might need to display things too, I think, to kind of let us know that it's doing things. But for now, let's just do this. Display manager dot display message. So it'll be up to whatever the display manager is to either display to the console or whatever it's going to do. And we could even give like message types so that like we know some are informative, some are UI related and things like that. But for now, that's, I mean, no need to scope creep on that. And I don't think Battle Manager even needs to say this, right? I think console.readline. I don't think you need that either. I don't think Battle Manager needs to be the one that displays that. I think Program can do it just right here, right? Player 1 name, player 2 name, player 1, player 1, player 2, player 2. And we already have the read line, so we didn't need that. So let's pass in this display manager into both of these. And I mean, we can technically just use our display manager here as well. Dot display message. Okay. Let's run it to make sure we didn't break anything, and then we'll wrap up. Uh-oh. Nope, we didn't break anything. Okay, so we'll select fight again, and we will select cancel, then we'll select fight and tackle. Selected tackle. Good. All right, yeah. Good. So we now have the console kind of being sent here instead. So let's go ahead and send that to the display manager again. Might as well. And that's it. So we have our battle manager starting the battle. It determines who goes first, and then it starts the turn. It's not in a loop yet. We'll do that next time. And that'll get each turn started, and then it'll swap players and then just kind of go through the loop again with the current player start turn. And then so the player, his start turn or her start turn, grabs its Pokemon, gives the options, allows the user to select an option. Currently, we only operate on the first two, which is fight or swap your Pokemon. And then we have a reusable make selection method, and that's it. And then, yeah, so next time we will walk through the damage portion of the battle, and then let the Pokemon duke it out with AI, which I suspect Charmander will always win. And we'll see how it goes from there. So thanks for tuning in this time. I hope to catch you next time. Don't forget, you can head over to Twitch to see the live streams. You can head over to YouTube to see them after they're done here. I'll upload them there. You can follow the Facebook and Twitter pages if you'd like. But other than that, look forward to seeing you next time.